تالتة ثانوي
هانت خلاص انا قد التحدي.
خطوة كمان والبكرة هعدي. تالتة ثانوي تالتة ثانوي.
Welcome dear student to our channel مدرستنا 3 under the supervision of Ministry of Education. أعزائي طلاب الصف الثالث الثانوي، أهلا بكم في حلقة جديدة من تدريس الأحياء باللغة الإنجليزية تحت إشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. Okay. Dear student, please follow me. This episode is very important to continuity about the immunity in plant. Last episode explained about the type of the immunity. Okay, now we are focused about the another type of immunity in plant. Okay. Study learning outcome that related to this lessons. By end of this lessons, a student should be able to list the pathogen of the plant, explain how the immune system working in the plant, recognize the structural immunity and the biochemical immunity of the plants. That's right. Okay. Another types of the immunity, it's called induced structural immunity. Last episode explained the structural immunity. Structures act as the first line of defense, protect the plant from the invasion of the microbe and pathogens. Structures immunity is divided into types. Number one, pre-existing structural defense found already in the plant as the result to possession of substance, for example, cellulose, lignin, superines, chitins. This found already in healthy plant and the invasion of the plant with the microbes. So it's called pre-existing structural defense. Another type of defense, it's called induced structural defense. For example, formation of the cork layers. When the plant exposure to cutting or tearing. Why cutting or tearing? When the plant exposed to the overgrowth, cutting. Cutting the fruits, following the leaf in the autumns, okay? Intervention of the humans, maybe human cutting the plant, okay? This is way required for the induced structural defense. Formation of the cork layers. That means that the cork layers prevent enter the microbe and the pathogen. Please, dear students, focus and follow me in this point, please. Induced structural defense, and other types, it is called pre-existing structural defense. Pre-existing structural defense prevent enter the microbe and the pathogen to the plant. Again, pre-existing structural defense prevent enter the microbe and the pathogen to the plant, acts the natural barriers. Induced structural defense, formation of the cork, deposition of the gums, prevent enter the microbe and the pathogens. But induced structural defense, formation of the tylosis, okay, hypersensitive response, okay, cellular immunity structures, 3 types from induced structural defense, okay. The microbes already enter to the plant, invasion the plant, but it struggles. Again, induced structural defense, hypersensitive response, formation of tylosis, okay, cellular immunity structure. There is the 3 types. The microbes success to invade the plant, but the plant struggles. And in the structural defense, pre-existing structural defense, formation of cellulose, epidermis, hair, soreness, formation of the cork layers, and the position of the gums, formation of the gums. This is way prevent enter the microbe and the pathogen to the plant. Okay, this is a very important point, please. Induced structure defense. Cork formations is formed, prevent enter the microbe and the pathogens. Okay. Another type of induced structure defense. It's called tylosis. What the meaning of tylosis? Before starting to definitions about the tylosis, we can explain the transporting vessels. It's called the xylem, transport the water and the mineral salts from roots upward, reaching to the pods and leaves. Xylem consists of pointed shape, it's called trachea, and the vessels. Between both of them, parenchyma cells. The vessels, xylems, transporting water and the mineral salts. A specific type of the microbe or fungus invasions the vessels. So is forming the tylosis to protect it and struggles the best way of the microbe and the pathogens through the vessels. What is the mean by of tylosis? Tylosis, overgrowth, protoplast, that's adjacent to parenchyma cells, that's spread into xylem vessels and trachea, through bits. Through bits, inside the xylem vessel and trachea, there is the tylosis is formed, adjacent to protoplast and parenchyma. It's the circular shape found in the pits that found in the vessel and trachea. It struggles the best way of the invasion of the microbe and the pathogen. That means that tylosis obstruct transferring the waters from downward to upward. That's right, okay. Why? Because protect the plant from invasion of the microbe and the pathogen. After the microbe and the pathogens destroyed completely, the tylosis is degenerating and returning to the plant as the normal positions to transferring the waters from upward and downward and to upward. That's right. Again, explaining induced structure defense. It's represented by the following cork formations. The cork layer are formed to isolating areas that exposing to the cut or tearing due to the increasing thickness of the plant during growth, number one. Number two, the collection of the fruits during collection the fruit, okay? For example, cutting the orange fruits from the plant, its exposure to the cutting, this is treated by the cork formation to prevent enter the microbe and pathogen through this cutting. That's right. Because the falling of the leaf in the autumns or due to the human and animal encroachment, that means that interventions, تداخل, and that's prevent the entry of the pathogen to the plant. Number two, formation of tylosis. Tylosis, overgrowth, protoplast, that adjacent the parenchyma cells, protrude inside vessels and trachea to struggle pathway of the microbe and the pathogens. Okay? Tylosis, overgrowth of protoplast, adjacent living parenchymatous cells, which protrude into xylem vessel and the trachea through pits that transporting the waters. They form it as the result of exposures of the vascular system to cut or invasions pathogen to obstruct the movement of these organisms to the other parts of the plant and obstruct bathing the water, so the plant may be wilt in this period. After the removals of the tylosis, the plant returning to the normal position. That's right. The position of the gums. When the plant exposure to the cutting and wounded. What the meaning of wounded? Wounded, as the human is wounded. Okay? Formation of the gums. Gums prevent enter the microbe and the pathogens and protect the plant from the microbe and the pathogens. The deposition of the gums, the infected plant play wounded or cutting, secreting the gums within the cell surrounded the locus of the infections to prevent the entry of microbes inside the plant. Number four, cellular immunity structures. What is the mean by of cellular immunity structures? They are the some morphological change it's occur in the plant as the result of invasion with the microbe and the pathogens. Plant, it contains the epidermis, the first line of defense. This epidermis, it contains cell walls, okay? The epidermis is swallowing, okay? And surrounded by the fungus, myceliums. so prevent enter to the microbe and the pathogens. This epidermis, two layer barrier shapes, parenchyma cells. It contains cell wall. Cell walls, it's swallowing and changing the morphological in shape. It's swallowing, changing in shape, and surrounded the mycelium that's act the root of the fungus to prevent the fungus to penetrate the plant and to protect the plant. Okay, so it is called cellular immunity structures. That's right. Another types of induced structures defense, it's called hypersensitive response. What happens when the plant is exposed to the microbe and the pathogen? Maybe destroys some tissue in the plant. This destroyed tissue must be, okay, get rid of by the plant. Why? To avoid infecting the healthy tissue. So it is called hypersensitive response. That means that get rid of the damaged tissue. This damaged tissue, it's maybe destroyed the healthy tissue, so the plant get rid of away from the avoid to infection the plant. Okay? Cellular immune structures, some morphological change occur as the result of the invasions, such as swelling, okay? Swelling the epidermis, cell walls, and the cell under the epidermis during the direct penetrations of the pathogens, leading to inhibiting of the penetrations process through those cells. Okay, that's right. Follow me on a light part, this part. Surrounding the mycelium with attacking the plant with an envelito in the cover to prevent the transmission of the fungus from the cell to another. This epidermis act the first line natural barriers, it contains cellulose, okay? It's swelling and surround the myceliums, okay? Surrounding the mycelium to prevent penetrate inside the plant, so it is called cellular immunity structures. So it's called cellular immunity structures. That's right. The transmissions of this fungus from cell to another's, getting rid of the injured tissue. This injured tissue, it's not treated. Why treated? It's destroyed completely to avoid infections and other healthy neighboring cells. So it's destroyed completely. It's called hypersensitive response. Okay, that's right. Thus, the plant killing some tissue to prevent pathogens to spread to the surrounded tissue. So the plant can get rid of these pathogens by the death of the injured tissue. Completely destroyed injured tissue, so the health tells as it's healthy. Okay, that's right. Another type of immunity is called biochemical immunity. What's the mean of the biochemical immunity? The plant, when exposures to the microbe or invasion microbe and the pathogens, it's secreting a specific type of chemical substance to protect it from this, okay, microbe and pathogens. Biochemical immunity, number one, receptor that secrete the microbe and the pathogen. Found before the infections and increase after the infection. Found in healthy plant and the infected plant. Number one, receptor. Number two, antimicrobial chemicals, a specific type of chemical substance secreting against the microbe and the pathogens. It's called phenols and glycoside. Specific type of biochemical antimicrobial chemicals, it's called canavianine and cephalosporins that play an important role in defense against the microbe and the pathogens. And finally, the antimicrobial proteins, it's called toxifying enzymes. Okay. The immunological mechanism including the following. Receptor that recognize the presence of the pathogens and activating the plant defense. These compounds are found in healthy and infected plant, but its concentration increase after the infections, okay, in the plant. The function of this compound are stimulating the innate immunity to protect the plant against the microbe and the pathogens, the natural barriers, cellulose, thorns, hairs, cuticle, cutin found in the epidermis cells of the plant. Okay, that's right. Antimicrobial chemical. Some plants secreting a chemical compound to resist the pathogens. This compound may be already found in the plant before the infection or formed due to the infection. That means that receptor that recognize the microbe and the pathogen found before the infection and after the infection increase. Antimicrobial chemicals found before the infections and increase after the infection. But receptors increase rapidly after the infections. We can represent this through this graph. A graph of the receptors increase rapidly after the infection. But antimicrobial increase, but not the same regular rate in the found in the receptors. Okay, that's right. For examples, phenols and glycosides, they are the toxic chemical compound kill the pathogens. When you see the phenols and the specific type of antimicrobial chemicals, phenols that related to fungus, destroyed completely the fungus, and found abundantly in the petals of the leaf to attract the insects that play an important role in reproductions. Okay, focus again in this point. Phenols is related to fungus, destroys the mycelium of the fungus, prevent spread. Okay, that's right. Organisms such as the bacteria or inhibiting their growth, they are the toxic chemical compound killing the pathogenic organics such as bacteria or inhibiting their growth. Production of non-protein amino acid. This acid not enter the structures of the protein in the plants, but they acting as a protective substance for the plant. They including toxic chemical compound to the pathogen, for example, cannabinoids and cephalosporin. Okay, cannabinoids and cephalosporins found before the infections, increase after the infections. Play an important role, protect the plant from the invasions of microbe and pathogens. Antimicrobial protein, a specific type of the protein amino acid not found in the plant. Play an important role indirectly, not found before the infections. Not found before the infection. It's found after the infection and increase after the infection. Opposite that occur in the receptors, cannabinoids, cephalosporins, phenols, and the glycoside. All of them found before the infections, increase after the infection. But the antimicrobial protein, a specific type of amino acid not found in the plant, found in after the infection. That's right. Detoxifying enzymes. Detoxifying enzyme react with the toxic substance that's secreting from the invasion, the microbe and the pathogen, and reduce the toxicity. So it is have an indirect effect with the pathogens, not directly with the pathogen, but the toxic substance that's secreting from the pathogens, it's reduce the toxicity and protect the plant from the microbe and pathogens. Okay? Some plants producing proteins that were not present in the plant but producing as the result of the infection and react when the toxic producing by the pathogenic organism, changing it into non-toxic compound. That means that reduce the toxicity. To the plant, sometimes the plants produced some enzymes known as detoxifying enzymes, where these enzymes interact with the toxic producing by the pathogens and invalidate their toxicity. That means that invalidate, that means that reduce the toxicity. That's right. Inducible post-infections. Some plants protect themselves from another invasions come in futures by some plants promotes and strengthens their defense other the infection in order to avoid any invasions by the microbe in futures. That's right. Pay attention me, please. Choose the correct answer. Which of the following substance may not be found in the healthy plant? Wax, found in the healthy plant. Gums, no. Induced structure defense, found after the infection. That means that the plant is not healthy. So the best answer is gums. Okay? Receptors, found before the infections and after the infection. Cellulose, found before the infection and after the infection. So the best answer is gums. That's right. Another question that read to these lessons. Choose the correct answer. Which of the following that does or do not have a direct effect on the pathogens? Phenols, glycosides, cannabinoid, detoxifying enzyme. which of the following don't have a direct effect? Phenols, direct effect. Glycoside, direct effect. Cannabinoid, direct effect. But deoxyfining is reactive with the toxic substance that's secreting from the pathogens, so it had a direct effect. So the best answer is detoxifying enzymes. Dear student, please follow me on Lightboard to make summarize or abstract about these lessons according to the immunity in the plant. Dear students, now we are going to focus about the main point that related to follow the immunity in plant. Follow induced structures immunity. Induced structures immunity. Number A, formation cork. B, formations gums. Number C, formation tylosis. Okay, tylosis, microbe enter to plant, not enters. Number D, cellular immunity structures. E, hyper sensitive response. Okay, another types, biochemical immunity. Biochemical immunity. Chemical substance secreting from the plant to prevent enter the microbe and the pathogens. Number 1, receptors. Found before and after infection. Number 2, receptors, biochemical, antimicrobial chemical, antimicrobial chemical, phenols, glycoside, and another types, cannabinoid, cephalosporins. Number 3, antimicrobial protein, antimicrobial protein. Detoxifying enzyme, detoxifying enzyme. Okay, these types, the microbe enters, struggles the microbes. Antimicrobials, secreting chemical substances to the microbe and pathogens. Dear student, thanks a lot for you. Best wishes for me, Hatem Mansour, biology teachers. Thanks a lot for you and goodbye.
تالتة ثانوي
هانت خلاص انا قد التحدي.
خطوة كمان والبكرة هعدي. تالتة ثانوي تالتة ثانوي